Nihal Sarin is currently playing at the Agzamov Memorial in Uzbekistan. It's happening in the city of Tashkent, and Nihal is playing some amazing chess. He's currently the sole leader at the end of 9 rounds, leading the tournament by half a point. And in the 9th round, he managed to beat Singapore number 1 Tin Jingyao. Now Nihal, who is playing with the white pieces in this game, opens with knight to f3, and he plays the same opening that was played by Gukesh. Ding Liren had played it against Gukesh at the World Championship match. Ding was white and hadn't got any advantage, and it looked like the game was heading in the same direction. Nihal followed it until a point. His first shift came when he played his queen to b3. Ding had played knight d4 in this position, but Nihal went queen b3. Bishop g4 was played, and he traded the bishops here. And at this point, he slowly started to put some pressure. One pair of knights were traded, and at this point, I thought Nihal would start putting pressure, maybe with a4, rook c5, but he in fact pushed forward very directly with the move b5. And that led to mass simplifications with trades on the c file, and then he won back the b5 pawn, but that also led to an exchange of queens. Now if you look at the position carefully here, you will realize that the d pawn is an isolated pawn, so white can settle the knight there. But on the other hand, there's nothing much for white to play for a win here. So how did Nihal try his best? Well, he started pushing his kingside pawns. He played g4, he then played h4, he played h5, fixing the h6 pawn, again creating a weakness so that the knight on e7 is kind of tied down. Then he started to bring his king up. Black had many different ways in which I believe he could have defended. One of them was to bring the king to e5 and provoke f4 and then go back. But that also would have led to some dangerous play. You know, Nihal could go king g4, then threaten knight f5, then take. And then in this pawn endgame, black has the outside passer here. White king is trying to get to f7 or e4, e5, you know, push the pawn. So there were all these possibilities. And the interesting thing to note here is that the time control of this tournament is just 90 plus 30. There's no second time control. So by the time the players reached around move 40, both were under time pressure. Tin Jingyao actually pushed his pawn to d4, and Nihal played e4, and still it seemed like the position would be equal. But the moment he played his knight to e5, that turned into a massive blunder. He should have gone back king e7, and the position is still equal. Not an easy position, but it is holdable. But he played knight e5, attacking the d3 pawn, and here Nihal found this very nice move. You may want to pause the video and think, white to play and win. Yes, knight to b2, defending the pawn, provoking, and you know, he wants to play f4, attacking the e5 knight, and then he wants to go knight c4 check and win the a5 pawn, or just king f6, king f7. And here Tin played knight f3, but in came a check. He lost the a5 pawn, knight e1, trying to win the d3 pawn, but then just knight b3, knight takes pawn, f4, and now d4 is hanging, and white is completely winning. And in this position, Tin Jingyao resigned. So Nihal Sarin is now the sole leader. He faces the Uzbek player Shamshiddin Vokhidov in the last round, which is not going to be an easy opponent. He is the member of the gold-winning Uzbek Olympiad team in 2022. He's also rated 2670, so very strong player. On the other hand, we have two more Indians who are doing well here. We have Abhimanyu Puranik, half a point behind, who can fight for the top spot. We have SL Narayanan, who is playing on the third board. And Nihal has managed to gain 7 elo points, so he's up to 2694 rating, and he is now currently world number 35. So Nihal inching upwards. His playing style is a little bit difficult for open events. You can see that he's very positional, he's very solid, he's very correct. But on the other hand, maybe when he will start playing super tournaments, he will have no problems against the best players in the world. We'll see. But for now, we wish him all the best for winning the Agzamov Memorial. Nihal Sarin won in Tashkent this President's Cup a few months ago, and now this tournament. So Uzbekistan is surely a happy hunting ground for the youngster.